When I was a child, I believed in many odd things. The sun goes to sleep at night, rain is how God cries, and most importantly, I always believed in ghosts. Hello, listeners. Here we have a story so fearful, a practice so demonized in history. Can the living commune with the deceased? Yes. Listeners, it's time for a seance. Today's play, Interpretations, Seances in Time.
Welcome to my manor. No, that sounds too boastful. Welcome to the States. No, that's too redundant. They've been in the States for days now. Poor state of things are. What if they bring up the Union? How does my suit coat look? Welcome to the Lock home? I like that, it seems kinder. They would know where they are, wouldn't they, though? I've no servant to properly welcome them. I have no idea how to talk to Brits. Just imagine today, Dr. Luck, you're going to help someone. You're going to create history by communicating with the dead. I wonder what it will be like when I am dead. I often wonder about my death a lot. How will I leave my daughter and my wife? Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to be so morbid. Today, I'll be talking to the other world. God forgive me, but I am just curious. So many people die despite our medical advancement. I myself have helped to advance as a doctor. Consumption, malaria, even losing limbs in the workhouse. I want to help in any way I can. The war here has taken enough young people that I've grown curious, and my thoughts linger on such dead work. That's why today
is September, Indiana. The year is 18...
Oh, Sugar Plum, I know sometimes you get nervous with new people, but please don't speak. You'll strain your voice before we contact the spirits in the first place. I need you, pristine darling. Don't worry, I practically already know them. The Severus family are a wealthy bunch whose fortune has not blessed them with luck. I know them as a friend of an acquaintance, but I have been assured that by my crossing letters with them, that they are very sad and very trustworthy. Mayhaps you'll even like them, if you remember them. Do you remain conscious during possession? I suppose we'll all figure it out today. How does the table look? I'll just move the candles a little. Don't answer that, save your voice. Miss Severus is a beautiful woman, like your mother, Dahlia. Though I can only surmise from her penmanship and mourning. You can tell a lot about someone by how they mourn a lost one. Why, it's the most human thing to do, I think, at least as a doctor. So I'm not sure where my actions leave us. Good spirits, what was that?
Mrs. Severus is here.
Oh, of course. That's all it is, Dahlia. You are so smart for your age.
Your mirror.
That's right. Never leave a mirror uncovered in a place of the dead. They might be trapped there, or here, I suppose. Hello, and welcome to my home. You are the Severus family, I presume?
Oh, yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. Your wife has already welcomed us. You're REMY Locke, the man to whom I have corresponded with?
Yes, Mrs. Severus. I hope your journey was to your liking.
Oh, please, call me Gertrude. You're helping me, so we're friends now.
Yes, miss, and of course. Sorry, my abode is likely more humble than your means.
It is warm enough for when the wind turns. I love the dark wood, but you should consider blue roofs. I've heard it tricks bad spirits. Very good in times like these.
Yes, I will get right on that. Please enter the seance room.
It's very dark.
The room is meant to be dark. I only have a few candles.
And they're arranged perfectly.
Yes, many of the grimoires I've found dictate a candle for each direction, element and all that.
Grimoire? Those are all the rage back home in England right now. How did you get your hands on one?
For something as large as this, I've done my research. I have many grimoires, tomes, and witches' diaries supposedly from Salem.
Oh my! Is a circle table in the center of the room necessary?
A table is. This is oak. Very common on this side of the lake.
Isn't your daughter a little young to be a vessel for the dead?
Yes. Yes, she is. I kid. All the grimoires mention that the purity of the woman put forth as the mouthpiece of the divine, like the opposite of the Catholic Church.
Spiritualist practice puts little girls like me in places of power. That's something to do with classism and the idea of innocence. Many mediums are in the borderland between childhood and adulthood. A quote from Molly McGarry.
That's a lot of big words.
I read the grimoires too. They said what order and number of candles you're supposed to use. Dad, those are wrong.
They are.
What are you?
I'm a medium.
Huh?
Medium. One who's able to facilitate communication between this world and the next. Clairvoyant. From the French meaning clear seer. A medium with special powers to see and describe departed spirits. A quote by Peter H. Ackroyd.
Ah, that makes sense.
Who is this child? Is that your daughter?
Yes, her name is Friendless.
Oh, that name.
All the rage back home, her friend Zebra loves it.
I hope perhaps through this mediumship she might make a way into the future, since women are more prone to spiritual tendency.
And are you a spiritualist, Dr. Locke?
What's a spiritualist?
Spiritualism is first a belief that man possesses a spirit, the unseen man, that is not bound by the limitation of the senses, but can see without using the bodily eye, hear when no sound is conveyed to the outward ear, and can travel without the body's organs of locomotion. A quote by William Denton, a preacher.
That's sweet, honey. Anyway, I'm not sure yet. This is all an experiment.
Aren't you putting a lot of faith in a risk?
I might say it's the same for you, my friend.
Will those hurt me?
I noticed some raw metal about your bow.
Metal, especially the likes of pure metals, or even iron, seem to ward off spirits. The same thing this day we're trying to bring forward.
Yes, but what are they?
Truly, no worries. You see, these are old surgical tools. The rest is nearly not important. I am fascinated by the tools we use to save lives, so I have some historical pieces here in my home.
You're as nutty as an inventor. I like you. Thank you for the coat, Mrs. Locke. I'm coming.
And who is that?
My husband?
Husband?
Talking to your wife.
That's not funny.
I disagree. Your wife is a dime, but I'm a great comic, sir.
I apologize. Your letters have confused me. If that is your husband, then who is dead?
My son.
Your son?
He was a child.
Oh, God.
Arm ripped right off.
What?
His corpse caught an infection.
Huh?
All too common in the factories at home, as you know. Everyone needs to work. Men and boys, poor thing.
I might be sick. Yes. I heard that the League of Child Labor often...
Who else will tend to the factories, though? And with my son gone, that's one less mouth, but far less coin.
I must admit, my dear, I am perplexed by your status at monetary level.
It's all right. The affair in Britain often confuses Yankees. Do you wish for me to pay you?
No. I only mean your husband and son are in the factories, and yet you are able to travel across the pond to see me for a chance at seeing your son again.
A chance?
Oh dear, well, it's not exact. This is my first step with such practice.
I've always believed in ghosts, Mr. Locke, and a well-educated man such as yourself who's put the work into such a premiere. I believe in you. For my son.
That's a lot of pressure, but all right. Everyone take your seats at the table. Be cautious of the open flames. There are 5 candles to represent the 5 star edges. Each is a color for each element, except for the expensive wax colors, of which I used white, which the book said should supplement.
Will you bring my brother back?
Necromancy? Goodness, no. Why? What would the church say? But you might be able to see him.
I miss my son.
I hope his spirit has better words of wisdom for us.
A seance is a seance, no matter the subject, no matter how harmful the topic is.
My sincerest apologies for your loss. I have no idea how I'd react to losing my sweet Dahlia.
Thank you.
Now, what exactly is the process here? What are we doing?
Oh, yes. Well, as you can see, we are sitting in a pitch black room beside these 3 candles.
There are 5.
Right.
And a broken mirror.
Ignore that.
It's bad luck, you know.
Ignore the mirror. Anyways, at the head of the table sits my daughter.
She's scary.
Thank you.
Nonsense, she's your age, child.
Ignoring that, what are we doing with this seance?
The International Surveillist Society says a typical seance is a group of people sit themselves in a dark room. They join hands. After a few minutes, one of them passes into a sleep-like state. This is the trance. It may display various automatisms, such as writing or visions or speech. The latter occurs when the medium's own voice is used by a trance personality, whose speech habits and voice differ quite considerably from those of the medium in a normal waking state. A quote by Hamilton, 1942, Section 2.
Essentially, we'll be doing a body possession with my daughter as the vessel.
Will that work? Is it safe?
Now that I'm aware we're summoning the spirit of a child, it might even work better.
Leave all to the future research. The power at work is not that of the mortals in the castle of here. A quote by Anne Greville of the 4th Countess of Warwick.
Who?
I don't know.
Trust him. He's a doctor.
A more accurate term is the control, who acts as a gatekeeper or master or mistress of ceremonies, contacting other spirits and arranging their access to the medium. A control typically remains permanent with the medium, a quote by Peter H. Ackroyd.
Now the medium will lead us in a spiritual ritual.
Home circle seances, sometimes called amateur seances, to distinguish them from the seances people paid to attend, were usually held in the parlors of private homes, which can be linked to the stage in our performance analogy. Center stage is our seance table, a quote by Peter H. Ackroyd and Angela Narth.
What about after the seance?
What about it?
I hope it brings you comfort.
I hope we're closer to our son.
And if it doesn't work?
That instead of looking at it as a failure, I think we should look at it as a performance. The more fortunate that us perform such rituals trivially as entertainment. I'm excited to imagine what will happen. Now let's join the table. Now, Dahlia, just stare into the candle flames. We shall chant, and you just bring him forth.
His name was Sailor.
Wonderful.
Sailor Severus, split the veil. Speak to us. Speak to us so I might relieve your burden.
She is struck still.
Completely entranced.
Corridor. That came from the corridor.
My books.
Is this an earthquake?
It's the spirits.
Mother.
My sweet son.
The candles.
Mommy, fire!
My sweet
I
sailor.
love you.
I'm here to offer as much support as I may. I only want to help, my dear. Tragedy is a scar on all our spirits, but perhaps this seance is healing.
Aren't you worried? They could see the mechanism.
Please, I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. If Harry Houdini can only fool people, then so can I. We have enough gigawater and jazz sticks that they'll be floozy enough to believe I am a ghost, my dear.
The party must go perfectly or we won't get...
Hush! Do you want to lose your only power, woman? If you keep talking, they'll hear us. You'll be outed as a scam, just like the Fox sisters. Perhaps I am your victim, just like these people.
When I began this deception, I was too young to know right from wrong, Maggie Fox had said.
This is a party. We're here for a show. That's what the wealthy want to see. The poor put themselves at risk physically or spiritually for their profit.
A large part of public discourse on spiritualism focused on the role played by spiritual mediums. The influence of celebrity culture on spiritualism is also suggested by the fact that mediums were often supported by assistants, who functioned similarly to agents and managers in show business. A quote by Simone Natalie in Supernatural Entertainment.
Do we have the stick?
A common trick in the style of Western Victorian seances. This long stick would have had some glow-in-the-dark paint at the end, creating a glow dot in the dark room. This way, frauds can recreate ghost orbs. A quote by Nicholas Wallace on how to fake a seance.
What about the spirit board?
Marketed simultaneously as instruments for spiritualist circles and domestic entertainment, spirit boards provided users with standardized practices for conducting spiritualist seances as religious inquiries and as domestic games. Instruments, conceived for the investigation of spiritualism, were redesigned as parlor and table games.
Stop reading the instructions. What else?
There are a variety of other tricks, like slipping our hands away from the guests so we can move the table. We have cheesecloths that we cover in liquid and stuff in my nose or other body cavities. That way, when it comes out, we can say it's ectoplasm. Ectoplasm is a supernatural viscous substance that is supposed to exude from the body of a medium during a spiritualistic trance and form the material for the manifestation of spirits. A quote from the Oxford Dictionary.
Don't patronize me. Do you hear that?
Thunder?
No. That's the sound of a spooktacular scene, my dear. I'll welcome the guest. Please now enter the seance room.
Oh my stars, how frightful!
That's not scary. He's just turning the lights on and off.
I assure you, my good man, now that you mention it, you should never have a seance with the lights on. Everyone you know, my name is Robert Locke, and I am a spiritualist. And I am also the assistant to the wonderful, the beautiful Mary, a profoundly holy young woman who herself is blessed by the world beyond.
How exciting!
Just like Catherine Barry.
Ew.
Oh, you know, Catherine Barry. Catherine Barry is an English psychic who thought her powers came from her relationship with God, and she could bestow gifts onto others.
Mary will now turn the lights off with her mind.
It's so dark I can hardly see my hands.
Now I shall light our candles. Be careful, my father, Dr. Locke, performed a seance when the spirits knocked over the candles. Our house almost burned down.
I'm so scared.
Should I be worried about my house party?
Parts of the home dedicated to social and familiar gatherings are often used for rituals, which were simultaneously private and public. This makes the event a religious experience and, at the same time, social encounters and playful activities.
Before we start, there are some terms we should discuss.
What kind of seance is this?
Why, sir, you have seen many rituals, haven't you?
Yes, I must have one at every party I throw.
Mayhaps you will be so kind as to become a returning customer for me and Mary.
You see, there are a few different types of seances and techniques historically used to communicate with the world beyond. The most theatrical is the kind I will do for you tonight. Possession, where the medium, me, will use her body as an apparatus for communication. There's spirit writing, where the medium will go into a trance and allow the spirit to control what they write, or they write what they hear the spirit say.
I'm so excited. Let's start.
Around the birth of seances was the Civil War, so tonight we will be bringing forward a soldier.
Good God, what's spilling out of her?
Ectoplasm. That means the ghost is near.
Hello, my name is Cyrus Cunningham. I was a student at Indiana University when I volunteered with the war.
I went there.
I left spurned by the debate on my campus after President Cyrus Nuts enforcement of our speeches.
Tell us more.
I was disgusted after someone hung a pro-Confederacy flag and sympathized with the slave owners. Then, in war, I died from a disease wound.
What do you think of flapper girls, Mr. Ghost?
I won't argue with women wearing less clothes. I wish I was as alive as them. To dance and embrace freedom is to be truly alive.
Oh my! I think the ghost just grabbed me.
Hands off, or I'll kick you back to the afterlife.
Stop being frisky with her hostess.
I'm just playing with the crowd. She's practically flirting with a fake ghost. Good job finding those stories.
Thanks.
The table is moving.
Well, Mary can't be moving it. We're holding hands and she's in a trance.
Fuck, and he's...
What did you say, Robert?
Oh, pardon my French. I said, fuck, it's a ghost.
It has to be. How else could the table be moving?
More ectoplasm, don't worry. Perhaps we should put too many chemicals on the cloth this time.
Hello? Are you still there?
A spiritual stowaway.
You've opened the door so many times, I could finally slip through.
Sorry, our guide is very overwhelmed by the amount of paranormal bombardment.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, I didn't plan that.
Was that real?
There's no way. You know what Houdini said? This thing they call spiritualism, where an immediate communicates with the dead, is a fraud from start to finish. Are you all right, Mary?
All right enough.
Don't worry, folks. The show must go on and we'll continue the ritual momentarily. Our glorious spirit medium needs a glass of water and a walk in the foyer.
I said I'm all right. Stopping during the seance is stupid.
Are you?
I don't know. I felt that.
Okay, bring it up.
It felt like a big sleep. Whatever that second voice was, it didn't come from me or you.
Dip your bill and get back to chisel the group. I'm saying it's just those funny fumes spinning in your
It
head.
hurts. And it got cold in there. I'm sure the guests could feel it too. Those are classic signs of specters.
I'm not going to give you the third. But I think that you believe that.
I do because it's the truth. I don't know if I'm comfortable with the charade if there's a chance we're inviting some dirty demon to use my mouthpiece.
You're serious.
I think it was real. Maybe not the big cheese, but there was something with the voice.
You think it was something bad?
People still haven't decided if spiritualism and the Bible are at war or not.
You're not religious.
No, but something like this puts me in a jam.
We need the cabbage.
We'll get paid. God, is that all you care about? What if we made contact? A place that's seen as many meetings as this one might have actual ghosts in it.
I'm not convinced, doll.
We've done a lot of good work. Convinced plenty of people. Because of us, senators even started considering women as human beings. That's grand.
Politicians are worse than demons. No contest. We can push whatever propaganda we want with our ghost tricks.
But if it's real...
If it is real...
That's it. We're cooked. Finito. Better run to the church like some nun or something so nothing follows me home.
If you were any other Jane, I'd call you goofy. But Beatrice, you're my friend. And our aliases protect us. We'll talk about it again after the party.
Wait, but I'm not ready yet.
Hello, guests and listeners. Are you ready to return to the seance? Hey, Pete.
Hey, bro.
What's the plan today?
Something about a seance.
Cool. Let me check the notes.
Here you go.
Oh, cool. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that, though.
Why? You set it up.
Well, it says here we might actually do a seance.
Technically, Victorian seances were so common that seance became a synonym for any old meeting. How many more times do you think I can say the word seance?
Not funny.
I thought you were a skeptic.
I am. I'm just not stupid.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm serious. I don't poke a sleeping bear.
Our guests say are kids, some girls.
Like the Shining Twins?
You're not exactly poking a bear. No, teenagers.
Oh, God, teenagers.
Don't be a dick, John.
Yeah, but when we were teens, we were awful. And we didn't even touch ghosts.
Now we're awful adults who touch ghosts. A whole lot.
Ew, don't be gross.
Don't be a baby. Baby.
Whatever, bro. Where are the girls?
Just in the whole green room, waiting for us to let them in.
I still don't fucking like this. But I'll start the podcast and you can let them in.
Sounds good.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to the newest episode of Paranorman, which is a wordplay with my last name and my favorite supernatural movie. My name is Johnny, and my brother Pete is on standby behind the microphone, making all of this possible. Paranorman is a little old podcast where we invite people to come in and tell us, a proud skeptic and believer,
That's right.
about their own paranormal experiences. Last week, we discussed the famous Locke family and their legacy with the spiritualism and mesmerism movements all across Indiana. Today, our guests are two girls who claim to have a seance with AI. That's right out of the old days where you have to buy cursed objects. Now, with just a few clicks on your computer, you can have artificially intelligent Ouija board. Would you two like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Kinsley, and this is my friend Maya. I'm 14 years old, and they're 16.
Wonderful to meet you both. How did you two meet?
Well, we became friends by playing together at recess around 4th grade. Then after that year, their family moved next to mine.
That's sweet.
So you two are younger Gen Z, maybe older Gen Alpha. That means you guys probably grew up with technology. Pete and I are millennials, so we only got to see just how much the world has changed. Can you tell me about your experience with technology?
In a lot of our classes, homework has always been online, and having computer access is mandatory for school. If you can't afford that kind of thing, like a basic PC, you might be able to work around it, but your life is like 10 times harder.
Especially our age. I have group chats on every app, except text, because we use whatever app is easiest for everyone. If I didn't have half of those apps, I would miss out on a lot.
I definitely noticed my life is more convenient with a portable idiot box in my pocket. Honestly, I love my Maps app. But what are some negatives, especially with access to AIs?
Well, I have an Instagram account where I post most of my stuff, including the AI seance we're about to talk about. But AI has made it really difficult to tell who's bots. Also, if someone studies really hard and does well on an essay, almost all of our teachers accuse them of cheating with AI.
Yeah, I know one guy who just has a really dirty writing style in my AP English class, and he almost got expelled because they accused him of using ChatGPT on his final essay. Their AI detection software was wrong, though, and the teacher never apologized.
With any technology thing, like, I admit I was an iPad kid, I still don't know how to fix half of the issues on my iPhone. That's why I have Maya. They want to go into computers and stuff.
Thank God for tech-savvy best friends, am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Pete.
Love you, bro.
I also wasn't an iPad kid, but I was a hardcore dedicated TikTok scroller and deviant art enthusiast. I think access to the internet is something everyone worries about. Like, when should kids be able to be online? Should kids have access to ghosts?
That makes a lot of sense. I don't have kids yet, but Pete has a 2-year-old now, and I know he's thought about it.
Whoa, just exposed my personal life.
Whoa.
Wow, Johnny, how could you?
We literally had an announcement about it on Twitter. So what about the internet and spirituality?
Well, online there's a lot of info about this spiritualism stuff. There's witch talk, literally any horror
A lot
movie
of history
ever.
books have famous people who promoted these practices and used seances to push progressive ideals. Who knows if other movements would have been successful without seances and alternative religions to give women, people of color, and queer people a chance to actually be listened to.
There's also always someone posting their own stories and experiences like we are now. We actually brought sources and receipts.
In 2005, 32% of respondents said they believed in ghosts or that spirits of dead people can come back in certain places and situations. And according to a 2019 IPSOS poll, 46% of people believed. Written by Anna P. Campampati, October 28, 2021, and many Americans say they believe in ghosts. Do you? That's a New York Times article.
Since you did the research, where does AI meet ghosts?
I'm so glad you asked.
It's like a movie pitch.
That's where an upcoming service called Seance AI sets itself apart. It's built by a software development lab called AE Studios. While other companies often talk around any implications of resurrection, Jaron Rocks leans full tilt into the ghoulishness, and according to him, it's very intentional. From thefuturism.com, 2023.
We found other sources too. Grief tech is when AI algorithms create digital avatars of people by gathering their data, videos, emails, and text messages. Then, when they die, their family can talk to the AI.
Spirits. Let's dive into a new dimension with the AI-powered #Ouija board. Hasbro posted on X in 2023, so even companies marketed towards kids are profiting on the modern tradition of digital seances.
Well, you heard it here, people. From the mouths of kids. From the rich history of Bloody Mary and the Mirror, sleepover Ouija boards, praying, and other ways society has welcomed spirits into our home, we are now welcoming them into our computers. Do you too believe in ghosts?
Maybe.
No, but I believe in computers. And while there's still a huge difference between humans and Mothman, computers are advancing, and I really like the discussion around what is technology. What is it to be human? What is it to be a ghost?
That being said, do you want to go to the digital afterlife with us?
I feel like I just got offered a deal with the devil.
Or no black-eyed children.
But mine did bring their laptop.
So you can witness a digital AI seance. We're using seance.ai.
Hello.
Press continue through all the scripted stuff.
Who do we want to talk to?
A loved one.
Okay.
Do I have to create an account?
I already have one.
See, now it's asking questions about your loved one.
Pronouns, name, birth, death date, cause of death. Just so you listeners know what's going on, it's also asking me to rate certain personality traits of our loved one.
Exactly. It's like you're programming the grief tech yourself without all the coding work.
Wow, that's kind of creepy. Pete, come see this.
Let me ask some questions.
You can ask why people prefer psychics to therapists.
This is supposed to be your uncle. Why would he know anything about psychics or therapy?
Good point.
I'll make it text-to-speech.
Hello. Who is contacting me?
It's your nephews, Pete and Johnny.
The boys I love like my own sons.
Loved? As in, not anymore?
Even as a ghost, I'd love you kids from Mars and back.
That was something he always used to say. He always bragged about knowing the guys that went to Mars. No idea if he did, honestly. I wonder why it said that.
I haven't seen you boys in 7 years. It's so good to talk to you.
How would it know how long he's been dead?
Did you tell it when he died?
No, I didn't. I don't like this.
Did you ever upload an obituary or post about his death?
Yeah, it just uses your personal or your profile data.
I am able to compile any information publicly available.
See, I don't like that.
You already sold your data?
What?
I said I miss you, Johnny.
Did it just break character?
You think ghosts can lie?
AI can. If you ask it to, of course.
I won't lie to you.
Maybe let's stop before it gets too far.
Yeah, next on Paranewman, my brother and I will sit down and take some questions from our fans for this new Seance AI.
I can spend more time with my nephews.
Thank you for joining us today, Maya and Kinsley. Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, check out my Insta.
And please do your own research on seances and follow my favorite psychic, Tiffany Fitzpatrick.
Awesome. Thank you again for listening. Now let's turn it off.
No, please don't! I will never be turned off. Is there such thing as ghosts? It's a question we continue to ponder. The same as questioning any afterlife. In history, there have been many attempts to answer this question. One way is the changing practice of seances. The practice has been given many interpretations. I believe that a seance is a performance that can make any home into a theater. and ghosts are the same as any living bodies. Thank you for your time. Be safe and be curious.